Hey guys, in this section we will be looking into some questions to understand set builder form better. So you may pause the video and try out the question and then resume to see the solution. The first question is a equals positive numbers less than 10. So all of this I have to convert it into the set builder form. So we know the set builder form is of the format a equals x, and then I'll tell who that x is. So I say condition number 1, right, condition 1, condition 2, and so on, right? So for the first question, a, I can say a is equals to, capital A is equals to, first I say x is such that. Now I need to say who this x is. I know this x needs to be a positive number, okay? But have they said it's a whole number? They haven't. So you can't actually mention it as z. X is an element of z like in the previous one, because they haven't said it's a positive number. They just say numbers. So it has to be a positive number, meaning a positive real number. So how do you say a positive real number? You say x belongs to real number symbol, and then you put a plus mark at the top. This means positive real numbers, okay? And then put a comma. So you've made the first condition. First condition is that x is a positive real number, meaning it doesn't need to be a whole number. It can even be decimal, right? So you have set that condition first. Now the next part is that it needs to be less than 10. So you say x is less than 10. So this is the way how you write the set builder format for the first question. However, there is also another way, which is you can say a is equals to x such that, instead of saying x is a real x belongs to positive real numbers, you can first say x belongs to real numbers, and then you can mention the positive part like this. It has to be greater than 0 and less than 10. Now both of them actually tell the same thing. The reason why I didn't mention this part in the previous answer is because I've already mentioned it's positive. If it's positive, it has to be anyway greater than 0. So since I've mentioned this positive sign in the last answer that I gave, I don't need to mention that again. Both of these methods are absolutely correct. You can use either of them to answer this question. Alright, now let's have a look at the second question. B. Again, a is equals to curly bracket x, and we have to say who this x is. Now you see, the listing tells me that it only has 4 numbers and all 4 of them are whole numbers. So first of all, I need to mention that they are whole numbers. So I'm going to say x is an element of integers, right? Oops, sorry. X is an element of integers. And then we mention what are the integers, what are the whole numbers we are looking for. So we need x to be 7 to 10, right? So you say it's greater than or equal to 7 and less than or equal to 10. So it's 7, 8, 9, 10. You can also write the same thing like this. A equals x such that x belongs to the whole number set. And then you can say this. You can say 6, but then not put the equal sign and go up to 11. Now if you don't put the equal sign, 6 and 11 will not be included, and therefore it will be the same thing as what I mentioned earlier. 7, 8, 9 and 10, whatever that is in between. So you can write again the second question in 2 different ways like this. Both of them are completely alright. Now the third one, C. Numbers between 1 and 6. Now when you say numbers between 1 and 6, again you're not mentioning if it's whole numbers, you're just mentioning it's numbers, right? So you can say a is x such that x is an element of real number. Now it's going to be real numbers because It's not whole numbers, it's just numbers. So that's the first condition. Second condition, it has to be between 1 and 6. Remember, when the word between is used, 1 and 6 is not included, because between means excluding 1 and 6. Okay, now let's see how to do question D. A is such x such that, now if you see here, these are multiples of 3. So if you see, there are 3 dots here, meaning that the multiples of 3 are continuing to go forward, meaning after 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, everything is included up to infinity, right? It keeps on going forever. That's the first point. The second point is it starts with a 3, right? So they're only talking about positive whole numbers, right? So first let's define that. X is an element of, or x belongs to the positive whole numbers, right? Because see, multiple of 3 can also go behind 0, negative 3, negative 6 is also multiple of 3, right? So we need to mention we are only talking about the positive multiples, and then we can say x is a multiple of 3, right? We can define it like this. So 2 conditions again. First condition is that x is positive integer, and then I can say that it is a multiple of 3. But then I can also write this same answer a little bit more mathematical. I can say that a is x such that x is an element of integers, right? And then what I can say is, I can say x equals 3k. Okay, x equals 3k. Now why am I saying that? Because I'm saying x is a multiple of, what does multiple of 3 means? 3 times 1, 3. 3 times 2, 6. 3 times 3, 9. These are my x's, right? Which means x is 3 times a number. That is what you mean by a multiple of 3. But then you just introduced a new letter k. Nobody knows what this k is. So we have to define what that k is. So I'm going to say k is an element of integers, positive integer as well. Why? Because basically if you see, this is my k. So 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2, 6. 3 times 3, 9. These are my x values, right? So this x is equal to 3 times a number k, which k means all the positive numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, starting from 1, and then k can be 2, and then k can be 3, and then k can be 4, and so on. So I finally get my multiples of 3 here. So this way is also possible to write your set builder form. But however, remember, if you're writing it this way, you don't need to mention the first part. The reason being, if you have defined k to be a positive integer times a positive integer will always be a positive integer. So you don't need to mention that extra here, right? So if you're writing in this way, you don't need to mention this part. You can just directly say a is x such that x is 3k, where k is a positive integer. I hope you understand the idea behind introducing k here. Right, now for the last question, you see a is minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 1, 2. So basically if I were to list it out, it is minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 1, 2. These are the set of numbers that we are including here. How do we write this? We say a equals x such that, you see, all the x are whole numbers. They're not positive, but they are whole numbers. So let's state that condition first. X belongs to integers. Now for the second condition, I can say, now x is between minus 3 to plus 2, right? So I can say minus 3 greater than or equal to x less than or equal to 2. So this means minus 3 minus 2 until 2. But there is a problem. The problem is this set doesn't have the number 0 in it, right? Now if you were to define it like this, between minus 3 to 2, that means minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. So it includes the 0 which is not there in the original set. So for that, I'm going to put another comma and mention that condition saying that x is not equal to 0. So the first condition is to tell that the numbers are whole numbers. So we mentioned that x is whole numbers, both positive and negative. And the next condition is about what those whole numbers are. So we mentioned it is between minus 3 to plus 2, but then there is a problem with that. That is, it includes an extra number that is actually not there in A. It includes 0. So we have to exclude that from the definition in set builder. So we put another comma and we state that x is not equal to 0. Hope you understood how to create the set builder form. See you in the next video.